Yo, I'm back. So, yeah, we're gonna be doing something different today. As I've promised for many months, I'm doing pre-recorded streams of the EarthBound Enemy Drop Challenge, and it's because I just want to, share my experience with it. In previous videos, I was like, "Hey, I got this enemy's drop. Let me document that." But you guys never got to see the actual process, even when I actually told the story of the challenge. But you guys get to suffer with me. Now, with these pre-recorded streams, I was debating with myself, should I have unedited ones, edited ones, or both? And I actually decided to go with both. Because if you want like full proof of the challenge, you can watch the unedited version. And then most people will just watch edited versions since it's going to be faster and the footage is going to be sped up. So yeah, there's going to be unedited and edited versions of these streams. And why am I doing the EarthBound Enemy Drop Challenge again? It's because I want to redeem myself. So if you guys don't know, my first time doing this challenge was absolutely brutal. I just thought, hey, just fight enough of these enemies and then you get the drop. No, it's way more than that. So remember in part 2 of the EarthBound Enemy Drop Challenge story that I made a few months ago? I was like, the game codes percentages of drops for all the enemies, not including the enemies that drop nothing. So yeah, each enemy has a percentage coded into them, and then that percentage is then converted into a fraction. So if an enemy has a 4 in 128 chance of dropping an item, then it's a 3.125% chance of them dropping it. And I was also like, the game estimates that if you have 128 encounters with this specific enemy, whatever fraction or percentage that enemy has for its drop is how many times the game expects you to get that item from that enemy. So let's say you fight an enemy with a 2 in 128 chance of dropping something. The game estimates that you should get their drop about 2 times out of 128 encounters. And I thought that was all there was to it. No. There's more things the game calculates. As soon as a battle starts, the game says, which enemy during the battle will have an item? And then it takes their percentage of them dropping that item. And you guys know that the more enemies in a battle you fight, the harder the drop rates get. So yeah, if you're going for a really rare drop, and it's like a double or even a triple battle, you're most likely not getting it because the drop rates get lower because it will just divide it by 2 each time. Well, not 2 each time, but by how many enemies are on screen. So if you're in a triple battle and you're hunting for a specific item, you're literally making it harder because the game is basically saying which one of these 3 enemies will have the chance to drop an item, and then it sees the percentage of that enemy dropping an item. And the game is even more cruel with these drops because an enemy can actually have an item and then they just won't drop it. I'm dead serious. They can actually have the item and then not drop it. So you have to be incredibly lucky. And you guys know that I like to use save states and resets. So part of me redeeming myself with this challenge is actually using more save states and resets. Because there were many times where I would just grind out enemies individually, and it would take hours to get a specific drop. But no, I'm using more save states and resets. And for those who don't know what resets are, basically, I would create a save state, and then I would try to fight the enemy to get their drop. And if it didn't happen, I would reload the save state and then press B. And if it didn't happen again, I would press B twice when reloading the save state. So basically, the amount of times I press B just grows exponentially. So it'll be 1 time, and then 2 times, 3 times, and so on and so forth. But I actually found a faster way to do that strategy. Instead of just pressing B how many times, like say I'm on like encounter 64 or something, and I would press the B button 64 times. There's a faster way to do it. Instead of just pressing B X amount of times, instead reload the save state, press B, and while you're in that menu, turn that into a save state. So yeah, that way I won't have to keep track of how many times I need to press B, because I'll often forget. And there's a strategy I never talked about in any of the EarthBound enemy drop challenge videos. And this strategy is actually going to carry the entire challenge. And it is known by most players in EarthBound as the scrolling nullification and obliteration technique, which is referred to as snot. Basically, snot, you would encounter some enemies, and then you like walk back and forth to try and spawn an enemy you actually want, or try to single out an enemy. So yeah, snot is going to be really useful for this challenge, as well as save states and resets. And now, without further ado, the EarthBound enemy drop challenge. Wait, actually, okay, it's just 5:04 p.m. All right, now for real this time. Sorry. All right. Day 1 and the start of the EarthBound enemy drop challenge officially begins in
2, 1, go!
one half spawns near Ness's house. Oh, I'm powerful enough to kill coil snakes in 1 hit. Okay. Alright, so the spiteful crow here is guaranteed to drop a cookie. So yeah, obviously we're gonna get it first try. Wow, I missed twice. And then he just tried to steal my hamburger. But this spiteful crow is actually owning me. He is actually owning me. There we go. There's the words, the enemy left a present. Inside the present, there was a cookie. I'm sorry, I tried to sound like a cartoon character. Alright, so there's the first drop of the challenge. And this, my friends, is what I'm gonna have to be doing for the next 140 enemies. And there are some enemies that actually don't drop anything upon defeat, no matter what you do or how many times you encounter it. But they still count towards the challenge, in my opinion. So I just have to simply fight them in order to count them. And usually after I get a drop, I save the game because, I don't want to lose progress. So there's the first drop of the challenge. And each time we get a enemy drop, they'll be wiped out of the left side of the screen. So yeah, wipe out Spiteful Crow, please, Editor Mal. The weird thing about it is that even when I recorded EarthBound episodes, it's never really done that, like, ever. Oh! Okay, we got the second drop of the game. It was from the coil snake. Okay, I think I'll say that was number 11, I think? It was either 10 or 11. 86. Oh! 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 Finally, dude. Oh my god. What time is it? 6:20? And we started at 5:04? So that means this drop took me an hour and 16 minutes to get. Oh my god. Okay. 86 encounters. This is Editor Mally speaking. It took 88 encounters, not 86. Even if that did take a long time to get, that's really not too bad. You know, 86 encounters is not, it's not really that bad. Because 86 is still a pretty good number for X amount of attempts for an enemy. Okay, so we're saving the game. And then what am I immediately gonna do with this bread roll that the runaway dog dropped? Oh wait, I can't do anything with it. I fully healed. All right, so that's the end of this first pre-recorded stream. Now it's time to take the time to edit this.